to it. So every candle will have two numbers associated within it, which is something that a lot of people don't even know. You have the bid and you have the ask. And the bid and the ask give us three very, very important things: the delta, the volume, and finished auctions, which is something we're going to get into now. But think of it this way: the bid represents aggressive sellers and the ask represents aggressive buyers. So if we look over here closely on the screen, you can see that there's two numbers in each row, right? Two numbers and two numbers. So let's take this over here. We see 0 for 76. Basic knowledge for this point of the video: the bid is on the left-hand side and the ask is on the right-hand side. So here we see 0 and here we see 76. What this is telling us is that there's 0 market participants that are hitting the bid, right? And there are 76 market participants hitting the ask. So remember, the market is simply an auction between buyers and sellers. It is an auction. And so auctions will only have buyers and sellers in the market. And so our job is to read the auction and understand the auction in terms of the delta, the volume, and finished auctions, which is what we're going to get into now. But for basic knowledge, I want every trader to take away from this slide the fact that the bid and the ask is the only thing you need to be profitable as a trader. Now let's start with the delta. The delta is the easiest to understand. The delta is the bid minus the ask, a simple subtraction equation. So red delta represents a negative delta. So there's more aggressive sellers than there are aggressive buyers. There's more sellers than there are buyers in the present moment. That's simple to understand. Red represents more selling. Quite intuitive. Now blue is the opposite. There's the bid and the ask is a positive number, right? So the bid minus the ask is above 0. There's more aggressive buyers than there are aggressive sellers. And this tells us that, again, there's more buyers than there are sellers, aggressive buyers than there are aggressive sellers, right? That's the basic concept of delta. And the beauty when it comes to order flows is that you're able to visualize this without having to read every single number on the actual charts, right? So you can visualize this. So for example, here you can see 206 and 117. 206 is bigger than 117, we all know that. That's visually represented via the delta profile or the delta footprint. And that's something you see on footprint charts on the ATAS platform, which we're going to get into later on in the video. So that's the delta. The volume is the bid and the ask. So the volume gives you the total number of transactions hitting the markets at that given moment. It's the bid plus the ask, right? So for example, you will see here 21 by 42. So that's 21 hitting the bid. That's 42 market participants hitting the ask. So that's 21 aggressive sellers versus 42 aggressive buyers. Now that will give us a blue delta, which is what you see over here. So there's more aggressive buyers than there are aggressive sellers. But what would the volume be? The delta is going to be a positive number. So the delta there is going to be 21, but the volume is going to be 63 because it's 21 plus 42, right? So the volume is adding them together. Now, what is the purpose of the volume, right? Basic knowledge at this point, you need to understand that when you see low volume, it represents there's less market participants hitting both the bid and the ask. So less volume means less transactions. So when you see the markets moving higher, but the volume is decreasing, this gives us an indication that that move higher may be coming to an end, and vice versa. When you see price moving down, but the volume isn't supporting it, so the volume is decreasing, this could give you an indication that that down move could be exhausted and we could see a move higher. That's basically how we use volume to our advantage. And last but not least, finished